right, so every single one of the tier lists on my channel are for fun. Speaking of fun, the monkey was a redeem on Twitch. I record these on stream, link down below if you guys ever want to be a part of it. I actually just pointed, but you guys can't see me. It'll go away in a couple minutes, but these tier lists are always just for fun, and this one is the most extreme example. We're going to talk about the best gadgets in Save the World, and there are only 8 of them. So I will be outdoing myself if this video is longer than 5 minutes, but it's going to be a short one. So first and foremost, let's just start with Adrenaline Rush. Easy S tier. I think we all know that. Adrenaline Rush and Drone is the most basic loadout that a lot of people use. The other one would be Slow Field and Banner. Yeah, I know. How dare I put that in S tier? So S tier because you obviously can heal yourself and teammates. It's great in a pinch. It's an instant health boost plus healing over time. So if you're ever in a tricky situation, Adrenaline Rush can not only get you out of it, but it can pick up your teammates as well. It is supposed to work on defenders, but it does not for who knows why. It's probably a bug. It's whatever, but yeah. Airstrike, I just tried it in game just to remember how good or bad this trap is. I'm sorry, gadget, and it's bad. So there are a couple of redeeming qualities. I'll put it in F tier because I don't think it's practical. Drones outclass it too heavily. You can use an airstrike to, all right, you can either use it to get a head start on an encampment. It'll do not enough damage on one single target to be viable for like a mini boss or something, but you can use it on like an encampment, which is all right. I mean, that's some extra damage, but you could also, you know, throw a drone for the same thing. You could use both, but Adrenaline Rush would be good for the trickiness of encampment farming. And I have seen it used in the Mythic Storm King fight. So for that final stage, when you're taking down the Storm King, you can use the anti-material judge, the airstrike to do a lot of damage very quickly on the Storm King, but that's not necessary, and it's a little annoying to line up. It's not a ton of damage, but it's a thing, so I figured I'd share it. Banner, easy S tier. You can respawn based on your base, or wherever you put the banner, that is. It's super nice. It gives you, I believe, 45 seconds of healing the structure. I don't actually know the exact amount, but it is, yeah, 45 seconds. It increases the health by a ton. Super useful for that purpose. If only for respawning at your base is nice to have, because people die. You know, I get killed on occasion. It happens. I even jump off the map, actually, and having a banner at the base is nice, and I think it's S tier for that purpose. And maybe A tier is a little nicer. I think it's a little more fair, but it's a super useful ability. And what's not useful is the trap. So the not the trap. Why do I keep saying that? The trip mines, the proximity mines, if it were. These, you get 10 of them with a 1-minute cooldown between each of them, and they do a disgusting amount of damage. I wish I would have recorded the small amount of testing that I just did, but it was unimpressive to say the least. It is not strong at all. A drone, again, does so much more damage, and it's just not super. I can't see a use case for it. I can't at all. I'm just gonna put drone in S tier right there, because you throw it up in the air and you set it and forget it. I think everybody knows how good the drone is doing. I know the drone's good. Wow, but no, it's X amount of damage. It scales based on your stats. 6 times per second for 30 seconds, and when you have it maxed out, you get 2 of them, which is just phenomenal. Drones and Adrenaline Rush are my default always, because I'm more of an offensive player in that way. But Slow Field is also S tier, because you can just create a big area where enemies are essentially walking through syrup. They are slowed down by a lot. I don't know any exact figures on that, but it's super useful for keeping a mini boss in one spot, stopping smashers from getting through the base. It gives you and your team more time to kill everything. If walls are getting destroyed in your structure and the mission looks like, you know, the end is near, a great slow field placement could just be right on those empty walls, making enemies a lot easier to deal with, give you way more time to literally slow things down, figure things out. And while I personally don't run slow field, I can see the value. I go so many missions without popping my Adrenaline Rush, but usually if I don't use the Adrenaline Rush, the mission was never close. So which one is better is completely based on your playstyle. It is not a tier list that is really going to be able to distinguish between better or worse, but all of these are S tier for like similar reasons in my opinion. And slow field's super useful. It also lasts for an entire minute, which is plenty of time to deal with whatever you need to deal with, and it's great for that reason. Iwalri is going to want me to put supply drop in S tier. I can't. I'll put it in B tier. I recognize the value. It's nice for extra materials, but in regular missions, if you're okay, if you're speedrunning missions as fast as possible, especially in ventures, it can save you a little bit of farming. But in regular missions, when you're just chilling out, enjoying the game in your free time, you can just throw on an Outlander farming loadout and get everything you need, or you could be running expeditions every day. You should be doing both. And I don't see supply drop as an actual pick. If you're lazy and or hate farming, it's nice, but I personally don't really value it very much. And Teleporter has S tier strategies, but like D tier usefulness. Teleporters can be placed. Oh, do I actually have some footage? I intended to make a video on this, but it's so difficult to get it to set up properly that yeah, I have a whole folder here. I'm gonna have to mute it immediately, where I was using the hot dog at the time. I have a whole folder where we were trying to trap a mini boss between two of these teleporters, and I think we were able to do it here, where Archer was trying to shoot the Xenon bow. And if you look at the health of the mini boss, this is a smoke screen mini boss, but we got it between two teleporters where the Xenon bow is teleporting between it infinitely. You can chunk a ton of health. A non-smoke screen mini boss can get killed instantly from that. It's a super satisfying experience. If I can actually show another demonstration of it, I think we were successful in this game. I would not have saved the clip. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you can see how fast. Once we get it between the two teleporters, it just, oh, it gets annihilated. It's so satisfying. However, getting that to function is far from consistent, and yeah, so it's S tier if you can consistently mini boss insta kill, but for other than that, we don't need to clean up propanes from Fortnite anymore. That's not a thing. And getting around the map is super easy with like directional pads and whatever. So it's not a usually useful trap at all, but for that one use case, I figured it was worth mentioning, and that wraps it up. How is this 7 minutes long? Well, I'm glad I could elaborate far enough to make this something worth watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below what you guys might want in terms of future tier lists. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.